Hello everyone and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. As you can see, we finished Karma's route, and we got the good ending, hence why he's actually appearing in the title screen now. It was fantastic. Unfortunately, we got the bad ending first, which was very sad. Thankfully, we went back, got the good ending, I recorded it, it's all for you to watch. If you missed it, there it is just up above. Otherwise, go ahead and look in the description for it. But today we're going to do the recommended route as recommended by Daisuke, which basically we were supposed to actually do Rod first, then Karma. So we're gonna kind of fix that and go with Rod next. So, I hope you're all ready for this.
The princess lives in a monochrome world, working from the side through her lonely eyes. It reflects the ocean and stars, but her cry echoes around the simple loss of love in her heart, making this whole fairy tale alive. Within sorrow's tender embrace, this was never meant to happen. The light of the day, the only reason you have to stay. Hear me sing my song and just keep holding on. Cinderella, why don't you stay with me tonight? We will dance until midnight comes and we could run away. Oh, we will never ever be apart. Set aside all your fears, this magic lives inside your heart. I am here, would you wanna stay with me tonight? Follow me, we will run across the bridge of fantasy. Oh, all the pain and sadness that you feel, believe in me, hold me close, don't never let me go. Come and stay with me forever. Magic lives so long as I am here.
Ah, here we go, the choice. Okay, so obviously we're gonna choose... Wait. Oh, I was like, we unlocked Waltz. But he's actually right here. Curse them and their similar appearances. Okay, Rumpel, we're saving you for third. Hello, Rod. Okay, a change of pace. Okay, this is where we're going to start basically doing a chapter by chapter thing. I will ask Rod if he will pair with me. I know we do not have a good relationship. Rod has spared no effort in telling me how cruel I have been to his family, but I feel that rectifying whatever mistakes I made with them might be an easy way to get 3 good deeds. Oh, this is going to be very interesting. But Elly, didn't he tell you that he didn't want to break his curse? Yes, but that may not be the whole truth. He is still reluctant to break his curse, despite all the advice I have offered him. Perhaps you will be able to encourage him where I could not. I do not care if he does not want to break his curse. I only need him to help me remedy the supposedly bad things I have done to his family. I believe that will be the easiest way to break my curse. But the problem is that I rarely see him here. He is usually at the palace. In order for this arrangement to work, I will need to be in the palace. Oh, is she going to get a job there? I wonder. I, for one, think it's a terrible idea. What if... Delora's voice trails off. She averts her gaze to the floor, her expression a mixture of anxiety and solemn consideration. What if what? Is there something I should know? Both the witch and the fairy just stared at me silently. After a few moments, Parfait speaks. Ha! We know what's up. You'd be far away from us, princess. We will not be able to assist you. Witches could be lying in wait for you. Knowing that you're the true crown princess of Angielle, they might seek to use you for their own purposes. Wait a minute? It took like until chapter 5 or 6 or 7, something like that, for them to say witches were after Elly. This was fast. I probably should have chose Rod first. Would have like saved me a lot of headache on theorizing, although it was pretty fun. What sort of purposes? Why would the witches be after me in the first place? Many of them have been corrupted by a tenebrarum. Darkness has invaded their hearts, making them bitter. Many of them simply want to see the fairy tale curses continue on undisturbed. This is all just speculation, but it's better to be safe rather than sorry. What would you have me do? Delora? I have an idea. I think I can get her into the palace and make sure there's someone there to look out for her. How? Just trust me. Tomorrow the Ice Princess returns to her palace. Really? Was it always this easy to get to the palace? I have a bad feeling about this. Wow, we're actually back in palace. I thought Delora was lying. Hey, she's actually Cinderella. That's cool. That's very cool. Silence. This cannot be happening. Don't dilly-dally. The princess will soon be awake and expecting her new maid. I closed my eyes and suppressed the urge to groan. How is it that Delora was able to turn me to Mella's personal maid? She thought this would be funny, did she? Well, I will make her pay for this. I expect you not to be late again. We have very strict rules on how the palace staff should behave. I am not exactly sure how Delora managed this. She told me she was going to cast a spell on me and that it would be over as soon as I opened my eyes. I closed my eyes and sure enough, when I opened them, I found myself here in a maid uniform. What did she do? The maid continues to babble at me. How annoying. I pretend to listen to her as she leads me through the palace hallways. Mela and Rod's chambers are located here. Oh! We come to a halt when Mela suddenly emerges from around the corner. I like Mela. Oh, and the reason we call her Mela is because I can't say Emelene. I'm really bad at saying that name. Your Highness. The maid ducks into a neat curtsy. Mela's eyes meet mine. I tense as I wait for any signs of recognition from her, but she only gives me a curious look as if wondering who I am. She clearly does not recognize me. The maid suddenly reaches back and pulls at my shoulder, forcing me into a bow. You are in front of the Crown Princess of Angielle. Show some respect, girl. My apologies, Your Highness. She is new and clearly needs to be taught some manners. Mela, save us. This maid is cruel. Excuse me? Oh please, there's no need for that. Oh, thank you, Mela. See, she's a nice one. I like her. What are you trying to achieve by pretending to be kind to a palace maid? Who is she trying to fool? Your Highness, this is your new personal maid. Mela glances at the maid, looking confused. Why do I need a personal maid? It is by the king's orders, Princess. Mela turns to look at me again. What is your name? She is talking to you, girl. I scowl at the maid before facing Mela. I cannot believe I've fallen so low that I'm now being ordered around by a maid. Elly. It's nice to meet you, Elly. I hope we can get along. Silence. When I do not respond, Mela's face falls. I was just heading to breakfast with my family. Of course, Elly will escort you to the dining hall. I raise my eyebrows at the maid, irritated. There's no need for concern. I can get there on my own. I breathe a sigh of relief. I am not here to babysit her. The maid leans forward and whispers something in my ear. I don't know how is it that you landed this position, but you owe the royal family your diligence and respect. If you continue to show disrespect, I will be having a word with the king. The maid pushes me forward so that I am forced to stand next to Mela. She will escort you to the dining hall, Your Highness. Her job requires that you follow you everywhere in case you require assistance with anything. Wow, basically, she's Mela's personal slave. I've actually been wondering what Mela's personality is, like when she's actually not on screen. So, today, we find out. But, it is almost time for breakfast, Princess Mela. Mela frowns and looks at me. I'm so sorry. What is she apologizing for? Oh, the king gives me a warm smile. The softness of his gaze makes me angry. He never treated me so kindly when he remembered me as his own daughter. Mela takes her seat while I walk to stand at the walls beside the other maids and butlers. The door opens and Rod walks inside. He greets the king, Ophelia, and then his sister. He's just about to take his seat when his eyes suddenly fall on me. Feeling away. Rod told me that before, but I did not want to believe him. I turned back to the conversation at hand. We have something very important to discuss with you, Mela. Oh? I have brought this up before, but now the matter is more pressing. Is she betrothed? Yes, this is about the ball. Okay, I guess not. Ophelia gives the king a disapproving look. Dear. Oh wait, no it is, but this basically is a parade for her to get a bachelor, something like that. Right? Yeah, that is right. I'm right. I know it seems like a strange proposition, but this is royal tradition. Mela is at a suitable marrying age, and this ball may yet help her find a suitor. But a husband. Mela's cheeks are tinted pink. A royal ball for Mela. For her to find a husband. I never would have agreed to such a thing. The king never forced me into one, because he knew that. I will not force you to marry someone you do not love, Mela. We agreed on this ball to uphold tradition. All eligible bachelors will be invited in 4 months' time, and you will choose the man you want to court you. I did find my true love through a ball, after all. Wait. Her true love is the king, right? Is that where they met? He did. Okay, that's where they met. He glances at Ophelia, who responds with a fond smile. Her expressions fall back to something more worried when she looks at her daughter. What if I can't choose anyone? We will throw one ball, as per tradition. We will not force you into another ball if you do not find a good suitor, but we must uphold traditions at least once. Perhaps this will push you to think more about your future. I will not put any added pressure on you, Mela, but I would be happy to see grandchildren before I have to give up my throne. I'm not getting any younger, you know. Ooh, she's blushing. Father. I can tell that the king is trying to make light of the situation, but there's an undertone of seriousness. Mela eventually sighs, then slowly nods. I understand. My gaze shifts to Rod to search for a reaction, but his expression is impassive. No reaction at all. Did he know this was going to happen? But, can I really be the princess the kingdom of Angielle deserves? I feel so unprepared. You are the crown princess of Angielle. You must be confident. Mela looks down, looking genuinely distressed. I'm finished. May I be excused? But sweetheart, you've barely touched your food. You may. Mela stands up and ducks into a quick curtsy before rushing from the room. I do not move until I feel Rod's glare at me. I realize I am meant to follow Mela. Excuse me. I curtsy and follow after Mela. I barely make it a few steps from the dining hall before the door flies open and Rod is rushing after me. What are you doing here? Silence. Okay, so what we're trying to do is get the good ending. I don't want to see another karma situation. Let's try... Answer him? What question? Oh, I don't know. Answer him. I'm here to break my curse. You expect me to believe that when you had people offering to help you at the march-in. Rod's expression changes, anger clear in his eyes. No, I know why you are really here. What are you talking about? You thought you might take back what was rightfully yours, didn't you? You have no qualms about hurting my family again. I stare at him, nonplussed by his accusations. I carefully quell the simmering anger inside of me. The last thing I want is to be fired before I break my curse. I'm not here to hurt anyone, so stop accusing me of such things. We glared at each other in silence. I had always thought, hey, yes, Crystal, sweet. I had always thought that Rod was closed off and quiet, but his emotions are always blazing in his eyes. You shouldn't be here. Rod steps back, but his gaze is still fierce. I do not have time for this. I'm going to find Mela. Why? So you can insult her? No, because it is now my job to attend to her. Excuse me. The last place I expect to find Mela is in the throne room. Much to my surprise, I find her standing alone inside, staring up at the throne. Oh! When she turns to face me, she has a guilty expression on her face. I'm sorry. What is she apologizing for? I was very rude earlier, walking out on everyone at breakfast. Mela gazes back at the throne and sighs. I'm sure any other girl would be happy to have a ball. I mean, it's like something out of a fairy tale. But She sighs again and looks down at her clasped hands. It all sounds so perfect in fairy tales. 3 days is all it takes before everyone's found their true love. But I don't think that's how it works out in real life. Do you? I have nothing to say in response when Mela turns her beseeching gaze upon me. I don't know how I'm supposed to marry someone I barely even know. Is this really what it means to be the crown princess? Isn't this precisely what you wanted? Excuse me? When your mother married the king, you became a princess. You went from rags to riches overnight. I cannot keep the bitterness from my voice when I speak. Your life is playing out like Cinderella's, is it not? All you are missing are the glass slippers, and even then I am sure the king could arrange for a pair. I cannot understand why you are so unhappy. Neither can I. Mela turns away from me to face the throne once more, and in the sun that streams through the windows, I see something shining on her cheeks. Is she crying? I am so ungrateful. Elly, what would you do? What? If you were in my place, if you became crown princess overnight, would you go through with the ball? For the sake of Angielle's traditions, for the sake of your role, I would never do anything so worthless. The king never brought up the subject with me. He most likely knew I would have refused. Mela suddenly pats her cheeks and turns to me, a wry smile on her face. I could do with some fresh air. Shall we go to my friend's shop in town? Oh, it's the doll shop. Oh, Miss off to visit a friend. Make sure you bring your guards with you, princess. Of course. I wonder what's taking him so long. Silence. Mela decided to invite Rod to join us on our visit. One of the guards offered to get Rod for her, but he still has yet to return. Another stands with us by the gates, ready to escort us into town. I stared at my clothing. Why are you wearing a maid's uniform? Fritz, you remember who I am? I would never forget you, Princess Elly. But it does seem like I'm the only one who remembers you. What is going on, princess? The only people who remembered me are the witches, fairies, and... Fritz, are you? I stop when I hear the sound of approaching footsteps. Fritz turns at the sound and then stoops low into a formal bow when he sees Rod. Your Highness. Rod's impassive face twists with annoyance when he sees me. Rod does not even acknowledge Fritz as he walks past him to stop in front of me. Shouldn't you be attending to my sister? I don't understand. Prince Rod, do you know why the princess is dressed like this? Yes. Let's get answers. Rod is clearly just as surprised as I am that Fritz remembers me. You recognize her? You remember the princess too? Silence. But if you knew, why didn't you say anything when she first went missing? And can someone explain to me why she's attending to But right now he might just be unnecessary company. He may very well give me away. Rod barely wants to speak with me when it's just the two of us. I doubt Fritz would make him more sociable. I am assuming that accompanying you is not an option at this point. Yes. Fritz looks down for a moment before looking at Rod. I'm sorry to ask this of you, Your Highness, but since she refuses to let me do so, please look after Princess Elly in my place. Silence. Ridiculous. I do not need to be coddled. Even if I did, Rod couldn't care less if I am hurt. I will do my best, Sir Fitzgerald. I cannot tell if he's being genuine or not. Fritz bows to the both of us. Stay safe, Elly. And you, Your Highness. Rod turns and begins to walk away without another word. Come on. We're stepping inside the carriage. Come on. Rod? Just for an hour, okay? Thank you. I soon come to realize that it's easier to walk around town now that everyone has forgotten who I am. The atmosphere around town feels brighter. All the spiteful stares are gone. Princess Mela. Oh, how are you doing? Is your wife feeling better? Mela has responded to most of the people who know her. She seems to know a good majority of people in town. I hang back as Mela speaks with the man. The night escort hovers somewhere nearby, watching for disturbances. We're going to take longer than an hour if she continues like this. I'm not going to rush her. Don't you need to return to the palace to continue whatever work it is that you were doing? Rod raises an eyebrow at me. I do have to get back to my studies, but my family always comes first. If this makes Mela happy, then I will gladly come with her to town. It's a small thing. Happy. I look more closely at Mela. She's smiling, but then she always smiles. I don't understand. She's more at ease talking to townspeople sometimes because they don't judge her. Why would she have to worry about being judged? It is clear that everyone adores her. Mela takes the man's hands in her as she wishes him well. Rod points out the gesture. See that? That's goodness. You could learn something from my sister, Elly. Is goodness pretending to be interested in the lives of strangers? Mela eventually says her goodbyes before walking toward the familiar store. This is the type of visit with Mela and Rod. I glance at Rod and notice the expression on his face. He seems conflicted. But why? Before I can ask, Rod marches in front of me and decisively pushes open the door. Does he have a history with this girl here? When I enter, Mela is already hugging her shop girl, Bjorka. Mela, you look as beautiful as ever. Oh please, I look the same. You, on the other hand. Mela steps back for nodding, a bright smile on her face. Being in love suits you. When is the wedding? Wedding? She was already engaged? I catch a small movement out of the corner of my eyes and turn to glance at Rod. I notice his fingers clenched to a fist before he quickly hides his hand behind his back. I knew it. He has history with Bjorka here. Oh, I wonder if they were lovers back in the past before he was cursed. And the reason why he doesn't want to break his curse is so she doesn't remember him, so she can stay happy. He seems to be the type of person who puts everyone's happiness before his own, so that might explain why he wants to stay cursed. Oh, I can't wait to find out the reason why. Those expressions as impassive as always, I notice the tenseness in his shoulders. Desimone and I haven't set a date yet, but it should be soon, would you? Bjorka trails off when she notices the rest of us. Hello, Rod. Bjorka. His tone is surprisingly static. Last time he was here, I was sure he sounded friendlier. So what can I help you with, Mela? Looking for another doll? Another doll? But Mela's not interested in dolls. Oh no, I'm just here to see you. I can't stay for long since Rod has things to do. Mela, I'll wait for you outside. Oh, okay. I know it's my job to follow Mela around, but I'm not at all interested in hearing her talk to this girl. Does she even want me here? So we're brought another choice. Stay with Mela or go outside. It seems... I don't know. I really don't know. Since we're chasing after Rod, I think the best option would actually be to talk to him. But then our duty is to stay with Mela, and that might be what Rod wants. You know what? I need an answer. We're gonna go outside. My time might be better spent trying to improve Rod's opinion of me. Ah, crap. I think it was the wrong answer. If I can get it and tell him precisely what I've done wrong, I can make up for it. I hope that would give me a good deed. I curtsy to the two girls. Excuse me, Your Highness. I should wait outside with Rod. I cough to clear my throat. With the prince. Okay, I won't be long. I move to stand next to Rod, who's leaning against the wall. Rod sighs in annoyance. Why do you keep on following me? Tell me how to rectify whatever wrong I've done to your family. This again. I cannot help but scowl at Rod's answers. You spout all this nonsense about goodness but refuse to help me. How is that good? You haven't given me any reason to help you. What? If you're not serious about genuinely learning how to be good, then I'm not interested in helping you. Maybe I can catch him off guard by bringing up his response in the toy shop just now. Oh, smart. Fine, then we'll make a normal conversation. Who is Viorica to you? Oh boy, we got him. Has she done something to hurt your family too? Viorica is a childhood friend. She's not like you at all. Oh, then why are we acting so cold to her? You obviously did not want to be inside the shop. Rod looks away from me and absently kicks a pebble on the ground. Wait a minute. It was actually the right answer to come outside? Interesting. Okay, cool. Closer to a good ending. I like it. That is none of your business. I sigh, disappointed with Rod's reaction. Rod turns away from me as Mela exits the shop. Ready to go? Mela nods with a small smile. The two of us begin to make our way to the palace again. By the time we return to the palace, evening has fallen. I hope we're not late for dinner. The minute the carriage doors open, we are greeted by two familiar faces. Sir Alcaster and Sir Mithros stand before us. Princess Mela, Prince Rod, I was on my way to look for you when Sir Mithros informed me of your whereabouts. He glares at the knight escort, and the knight shrinks back. Sir Alcaster turned sharply to me afterwards, his eyes narrowed. Why is he looking at me like that? It was getting late, and the queen was worried. I'm so sorry. Princess Mela, Prince Rod, it is almost time for dinner. Please let me escort you inside. Sir Mithros gestures for them to follow. I am about to follow after them when Sir Alcaster suddenly moves to block my path. His eyes hold. He opens his mouth to say something, but then closes it and shakes his head. You are dismissed, girl. You may go back to your quarters. But that is an order. His gaze is piercing. Even when I was a princess, I was not able to stand up to that gaze. Yes, sir. After dinner, I make my way back to the reading room assigned to me. As I walk down the hall, I notice Rod heading in my direction. Rod? He suddenly grabs my arms and pulls me away down the hall. What the? Is he gonna kill us? Hope not. Where are you taking me? Rod doesn't answer and just continues moving until we reach an unfamiliar door. What is going on? Rod cuts me off by placing a finger on my lips. He looks around warily before finally pulling me in through the door with him. Oh, we're in a dungeon. Familiar. This place. I've heard of this place before, but I have never seen it. Is this the secret passage that leads into town? Rod doesn't answer me, but simply keeps walking and I see no other option but to trail after him. How is it that you know this place? He still refuses to answer. Are you deaf? Rod suddenly stops and I bump into his back. I stumble back with a scowl. You ask too many questions, because you refuse to answer any of them. I glare back at him until Rod makes an exasperated sound. Lady Parfait is the one who told me about this passage. It makes sneaking out of the palace easier. Parfait? She did not give me any explanation as to how she knew of this place. There are only meant to be 2 copies of the keys. The king has one, and Sir Alcaster has the other. Then why do you have the key? Don't tell me you stole from the king. I'm not a thief. Lady Parfait also has a copy. She saw fit to provide me with a key for my own use. What? How does she have a key? How does Parfait have a key to this place? You'll have to ask her that yourself. Once we step into town, I realize where it is that we are headed. We're going back to the Marchen. Delora is the first person we see as soon as we enter the Marchen. Well, look what the cat dragged in. Delora, you. Rod's glare silences me. He steps forward and points back at me. Gaze icy. She is not staying at the palace. What? Delora raises an eyebrow. Why is that? She works there now. I do not know what game you are playing, but I will not be a part of it. Excuse me, this is not a game. I do not want you meddling my life as you meddled with hers. The room's temperature drops several degrees. Delora stares at Rod, her expression suddenly lacking any emotion. With all due respect, Your Highness, I do not want to meddle with your wallowing. But just because you do not wish to break a curse, doesn't mean that others shouldn't want to either. You should be humbled that our princess here thought you would be able to help her. Rod raises an eyebrow. Where is Lady Parfait? Of course you want to talk Parfait, because she puts things nicely. Fine, fetch her for you. Delora curtsies as she sweeps out of the room. Rod sighs. He clearly looks irritated, but he doesn't put a voice to his agitation. Now that we're alone in the empty room, the silence is deafening. And so, I asked him a question that's bothered me since we came here. Alright, we have another choice. Why do you want me out of the palace, or why do you want me to break your curse? Now we have 2 choices, and we got 2 crystals for each of them, so that's wonderful. Let's see if we can make it 3 crystals. I don't need to explain myself to you. Do you even know how to break your curse? I do. Really? So you can break his curse at any time. So why are you not doing anything? It's none of your business. I do not realize the anger inside of me at first, but then I notice that my hands are fists and that I am shaking. You're angry at me for treating your family with unkindness, and yet you do not treat me with any respect or kindness either. Excuse me? I realize that this is the anger I have felt in a long time, and it makes words fall out of my mouth. You are guilty of the same disrespect you hold me accountable for. We're both being cruel to family, aren't we? Rod's eyes are ablaze as he stalks towards me. He stops right in front of me, his mouth pressed into a firm line. As you are so fond of telling Mela, we do not share any blood. The only thing pulling us together is the king, and you do not share his morals. Remember this, Elly. You will never be a part of my family. I will never see you as a sister. Ooh, so decisive and just, wow. I feel tiny. Rod storms out of the reception area just as Delora enters. Sorry, looks like Parfait wasn't in. She pauses, then gives me a wry smile. Seems this partnership is going well. I throw my hands up in anger. He's infuriating. Not as helpful as he thought. I was surprised you were asking for his help in the first place. All I've been doing today is following around Mela, and he still finds reasons to snap at me. In his eyes, I can do nothing right, even though I am making an honest effort to break my curse. Delora eyes me as she slides down into a chair. Has he told you anything about his curse? Only that he knows how to break it. Delora sighs. Boys can be so secretive about the silliest things. Rod has been aware of how to break his curse from the very beginning. Then why hasn't he broken it? I have no idea. I think the only person who knows the full terms and conditions of Rod's curse is Parfait. Parfait? Parfait has known Rod for a while. She convinced him to keep coming to the margin even after he gave up on breaking his curse. Parfait also thinks that working with you will convince Rod to try finding another way to break his curse. Another way? Don't ask me. I don't know much about his curse either. But if you keep trying, you might convince Rod to talk. I doubt that very much. It seems that all I'm doing is convincing Rod that I do not deserve to break my curse. Delora looks at me curiously for a few moments, then she grins. I have an idea. If it is another terrible idea. Oh no, this one's much better. I'll just stick around with you. You know, watch out for you. What? Delora, watch out for me? Oh, what the? What spell she cast this time? Hey, she's back to her doll form. Awesome. I love it. Actually, I like this doll form better than her witch form. I'm surprised when Delora suddenly stands before me in her doll form. There's no way you and Rod are going to sort yourselves out without some kind of help, so I'll be tagging along. It's much easier when I'm travel-sized. Why do I feel like she'll only make things worse? Come on then. Delora somehow managed to jump into the front pocket of my apron, which is thankfully large enough to fit her doll body. Let's go find us a prince and get ourselves back at the palace. No way. That's so cool. Alright, looks like we're done. So it's kind of unfortunate. It's rather interesting. Also, we do know what Rod's curse is. We just don't know how to break it yet. And unfortunately for everyone who's new to this, you have not been here for the last playthrough, so you don't get to know until Rod tells us himself. So if you're new to the channel and new to Cinderella Phenomenon, go ahead and check out Karma's route. Check out episode 1, 2, and 3. Those episodes will fill the gap prior to choosing which route to choose, so make sure to check those out before, I guess, continuing along here. But of course, if you're all enjoying yourselves here and look for more of Cinderella Phenomenon, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be notified when the next chapter comes out. And of course, if you have your own visual novels that you're actually interested in and would like me to feature on the channel, go ahead and leave the title and where to find it in the comments below. Otherwise, post in the discussion section and I will definitely check it out there. So everyone, this has been Cinderella's Phenomenon, Rod's Route. I hope to see you back here so we can actually see how this all plays out. See you all next time.